We are going to move into our next slide. So we had prep the skin first. We're going to move into brow fill and primer on the lid space. Base of the hair color, what would we say she is? She's got some red in there. Mix both the Greige and the Butterscotch to give her a brown with a hint of red. When in doubt, start with Greige. You can always darken it or warm it up. You would be darkening it by using chocolate. You'd be warming it by using what? Butterscotch. Yes. That's lovely. Now I'm looking for my guideline too. Don't forget about this. You're going to take your brush and slide straight up from the side of the nose. And that's your guideline where your brush lands. That's how far in we need to bring this brow. I would love to have you guys just attempt the wet brush application on the outer half of your brow and see how that goes for you since we're going full glam today. Look at the difference on Deanna from side to side. So we've got no brow fill on this side. We've got brow fill on this side. And I did honor the guideline, so I brought her brow in closer than it is naturally. So I'm mixing your Butterscotch and some Greige on the brush. If you're reestablishing your guideline and you're bringing your brows in closer than what they naturally grow, sometimes it feels weird the first couple times that you do it. I want you to do your inner corners like we've done with Deanna. We're doing dry brush application here. I'm going to comb through it and soften those inner corners. Because what I don't want is I don't want like a blocky looking brow. When I'm looking at Deanna in like the viewfinder right now and I can see her on camera, even this inner corner looks a little bit blocky. So I'm going to soften that guy out. Because I don't want any hard lines in that brow. That looks a little bit better. And if you have a patch or a section of your brow that just doesn't grow in, and you're like, okay, it looks like it goes from like a dry fake filler to where there's a bunch of brow growing in, you're going to take your wet brush application and literally like draw in little hairs with a wet brush. I'm wetting Deanna's brush right now, and in her inner corners, for those of you who are having to create the illusion that your brows are closer together, here's what we've got going on. Her actual hairs start growing about right here. So she's got a good 1/4 of an inch or so that's brow fill powder, and there's no actual hair there. I want you to fill it in initially by just using powder and see what you get. Brush through it a couple times, soften it, and now you're taking a wet brush with your brow color of choice and you're going to draw in really, really fine pieces of hair and don't comb back through it. Just let it be what it is. Because you're creating dimension. By doing a brow fill first and then carving in little pieces of hair, it actually will look more like a real brow. And if all else fails, there's always microblading. If microblading is not in your future, this is one way to give yourself the illusion of little hairs. Can you see the difference? I'm seeing right up here at the top, I want to make that a little bit sharper too. So with my wet brush, I'm going to carve a couple little hairs in there. Brows are an art, they really are. And now go in with your primer. You're going in with your primer and I want you to treat it like it's a little pencil. So the end of the brush is kind of facing towards like your ear or down towards the floor so that you've got the tip of your bristles acting like a pencil and you're carving out the lower part of the brow. So if you needed a brow cleanup and you didn't make it to your brow appointment, you're going to lay those hairs flat and cover them with primer. And then hit the inner corner of the eye. Make sure that you get all the way across the lid space and flip your brush upside down to get down to the lash line. Do that both sides, and then we get to start playing with smoky eye. Are you ready? So pumped. Oh, amazing. If you have issues with symmetry, like getting your brows even, don't forget that you can do that whole like eagle and connect in the middle and make sure that you have symmetry all the way across. That's a good cheat for you if you're learning your symmetry.